This could be a favorite of the year.
What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a reading and travel vlog. We are driving up to Pennsylvania to see my dad and also my mom and grandparents and brothers. My mom is throwing this like graduation party for my brother, but then also surprise 75th birthday party for my grandfather. And so we are driving to Pennsylvania and I brought some books that I want to get to. So let me put you down for a second and tell you. So I have two books and I'm gonna listen to the audiobooks while I'm reading them in the car. So I have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and this is a time travel, like alternate reality, I think, book, but also a female-female romance, which I think it's gonna be my first female-female romance that I'm reading. Gwen and I are actually having a book discussion for it over on the podcast, literally in like a week or so, and so I'm gonna read this in anticipation for that. And then the other book I'm bringing is Dear Child by Rami Hausman. I've been wanting to read this for a long time, and I did talk about this book in the most recent podcast episode. And this one is like Room. This is about a woman who finally escapes her captor, and I think it's like, I feel like the synopsis was better when I read it on Goodreads. This one doesn't really say anything, but I believe that it's about like a mom and a daughter that have to listen to the father all the time, but he's actually like their captor and they can't like eat or drink whenever they want. They can't do any of that stuff. So it does sound a lot like Room. So I'm very excited to read both of these books. And I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna start One Last Stop, just because I do have a deadline for this one and I want to get it done and read. So I'm really excited, and I'll hopefully take you along for all of the festivities and try and get a bunch of like traveling clips and just clips of like the party and stuff.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this.
It is Saturday. I am getting ready soon to go to my mom's house because it's my brother's graduation and my grandfather's birthday. But I wanted to update you guys on what I've read so far in One Last Stop. I actually didn't get as much reading done as I thought I was going to. Part of the reason why is because, I wonder if I can sit you down right here. And yes, I'm at my dad's house and my stepmom has like really creepy stuff. Like, what is that? Like, her style. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh, let's go look at that actually. A quick tour. Yeah, most people probably would not want to be in this room because of how creepy it is. Yeah. Anyway, my stepmom's style is pretty crazy. So I did not get to read as much in One Last Stop because I honestly am not super intrigued by it. Like, I have read 91 pages. I read that in the car, and I only am just now getting to like the aspect of time travel in this book. I read about, oh, what are the characters' names again? August and Jane. So August moved to New York City and she like gets this place with like this other like couple, and she meets Jane on the one like subway train, but she like asks her out. She's like, hey, like, you want to go have a drink with me? And Jane's like, no, sorry, I can't. And so then August was talking to someone in the, I think she works at that restaurant, and she sees like a picture of Jane from like back in like, I don't know, it's like 1973 or 78 or something like that. And she's like, what? Why does Jane literally look the same way? They're kind of talking now about, oh, is Jane a ghost? Like, why didn't she want to go on a date with me, but then why is she also in this picture from like when this restaurant first opened up? So that's pretty much where I stopped, because I just felt like, I mean, it sounds like things were happening, but I felt like nothing was really happening. So I guess I should have kept reading at that point, because I was like kind of getting to like, oh, you know, is she time traveling? Like, what's going on? But so far, I just haven't been like loving the writing style very much. I don't know, it doesn't seem like something I'm going to love. Like the writing style, the characters, I don't really care about a lot of the characters, which is crazy because I just read like Cheat Day, which was kind of like this like contemporary romance, but I loved the characters in that. Like I felt like I could relate to them a lot. But I mean, I'm gonna keep going obviously, because this is the book for our podcast. But I'm just a little sad that I didn't get more reading done. I have like a little bit less than an hour before we would have to go to my mom's house, and that's about a 40-minute drive. So I think I'm going to try and read a little bit. I haven't gotten a lot of reading done like here at my dad's house, because obviously I'm like talking to my dad and doing stuff like that. In the car ride, maybe I can get more reading done. I thought I was going to be able to read 2 books this weekend during this vlog, but I don't think I'm going to. I feel like I should have just read Dear Child. I don't know why. I just feel like I should have just started that one. Maybe I should just stop this and switch to Dear Child. That way I can finish it all the way on my drive and actually have something to talk to you guys with, because I probably shouldn't tell you very many of my thoughts for One Last Stop because they need to be in the podcast, but then some of you probably don't listen to the podcast. I don't know. Anyway, so that's been my update so far. We've actually been here for one whole day, because today is Saturday and we actually drove up Thursday afternoon, but yesterday we kind of just chilled out, hung out with my dad, so I didn't really film anything. My dad's pretty old actually, he's 74, so I feel weird if I like have the camera around him, but maybe I can like get you guys a little glimpse of him. I should also show you guys a picture. My dad has a picture of his parents, so they're my grandparents. They're not living or anything, but I should show you guys a picture because I feel like I look literally just like them. Like both of them together is me. That's me. But yeah, I'll show you guys a picture of those just in case you wanted to see.
Okay, so this is my brother Joseph. I have lots of brothers. One of my brothers is up there, William. You've seen him before probably if you watch my main channel. He jump roped with me. Then we have my twin brothers, Matthew and Mark. Say hi. Hi. And then Titus, I don't know where he went. Titus is hiding. There's Titus up there. Say hi, Titus. Hi. There he is. Yep, and then my other brother Brody could not make it today, but he lives in a different state. But these are all my little bros. Okay, you guys, today is Sunday, so it's the next day. I got no reading done yesterday, being like at my mom's and the party and stuff. I was in charge of all the games, so that took up a lot of time, and I was so tired last night when we got back to my dad's house. But we are driving home now. We have 2 hours and 40 minutes left. We just stopped at a gas station really quick to like pee or whatever. But I started reading Dear Child by Rami Hausman, and I actually didn't realize that this is translated from German, which is actually kind of cool because that is my heritage. But yeah, it said it when I was listening to the audiobook, and then in the front it even says like it was first published like in Germany. So that's kind of cool. But I am 52 pages in right now, and I am actually really enjoying it. It is kind of different than I thought it was going to be, and I like the way that it's set up. It is multiple POVs, so it is talking from the child's perspective, but it's different than Room, because I think the child in Room was only like 5 or something like that, whereas the girl that's talking in here I think is 11 or 13, I forget, right around that age. So she is like talking about some of the stuff, but then you also hear from the mother, Lena. You hear from her perspective a little bit, and then you also hear from Lena's actual parents, because Lena actually is the one that disappeared like 13 years ago. So Lena's parents are Matthias and I forget the mom's name, and they have been searching for Lena for 13 years. But Lena has been like held captive by this unknown guy and had children. I think that she has 2 children, which is Hannah and Jonathan. And so Hannah is the kid that we are hearing, like, you know, from her perspective at times. So there's like a whole kind of family dynamic. But what happened so far is that I guess Lena, I don't know if she was running away with Hannah, but they were driving and got in a car accident. So Lena is in the hospital, and they have Hannah, they're like, you know, interviewing her and trying to find out what happened. And she's kind of talking about how like her mom like might have had the accident on purpose, and her mom does like silly things and always has these accidents and stuff. But then she's talking about how like they live in a cabin where they have like a recirculating air thing, like there's no windows. And she's just like, you know, she's talking about her childhood, but it's obviously like red flags to like the, I don't know, police and private investigator, I guess, that's talking to her. So we don't really know much, but we know that obviously the way that Hannah has been raised so far is wrong and bad, even though she doesn't think that way, because that's the only way she's been raised. So yeah, I like how like you kind of know the like dark vibe that it's going for, but it's not just giving you all the answers, which is really cool. So I'm loving it so far, 52 pages in, and I'm probably gonna be knocking it out, a lot of it, for most of this drive. And then even when we get home, I just have to like pick up, I put in like a Kroger order and a Walmart order, so that way it's ready when I get back home, and I'll pick that up. But I'm really hoping to finish this whole book today. I know, I feel like the travel vlog, it was like mostly travel, and now it's going to be reading. So hopefully you stuck around for this reading part. My friend Jennifer had given me a Starbucks gift card, so thank you. We ended up getting Starbucks. It was for my birthday that she gave me the gift card. So I got the grande iced flat white with the vanilla sweet cream cold foam, so good. Alvin already drank his, and I had him get the iced shaken espresso with the cold foams, sweet cream cold foam. That was his first time having it, and he loved it. So I picked a really good one for him because I had that like a couple weeks ago and really liked it too. So these are some of our favorites. Definitely sweet cream cold foam, so good. Okay guys, we are home in my house, or our house I should say, and I read 200 pages so far in Dear Child, and I am really enjoying it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it now. I just wanted to like give you guys an update instead of just, you know, like reading the whole entire book and then giving an update. It is definitely
different than I thought, but in a good way. It is not exactly like Room, so that's like good to know. So that way I know I'm not reading like the exact same book. So if you've already read Room by Emma Donahue, then you can like go into this book without thinking that you're gonna read the exact same story. But this one is definitely a survival story, but I think there's gonna be a really big twist at the end, just because there's still a missing person that we have no clue like where she is or what happened to her. I can't really give you some of the information, like from what I told you in the beginning, some of that information kind of changed, and I can't tell you that because I don't want to give any spoilers, but because some of that information changed, there's actually still a missing person. So I'm like really looking forward to seeing how that's gonna come about and like what is true and what is false within this story. But I also love, it's like kind of like, it's not exactly flashbacks, it's actually the characters like telling the people like what happened to them when they were, you know, like stuck in the cabin. But I really enjoy that part because that's when you really get a glimpse of just kind of like how they survived, what they had to do, like how they were mistreated and abused and stuff like that. So really, really enjoying it. I think I'm more than halfway through. I think I'm at 58% according to the audiobook because I've been listening to it on Libby. So I can go ahead and knock this out the rest of tonight, and then I'll give you guys an update when I finish it and let you know how much I liked it. But I am pretty positive, like it's definitely a 4-star read. Depending upon the ending and how many other twists, this could be a favorite of the year.
This is easily becoming one of my favorite spots to film. Today is Monday and I finished Dear Child last night. I just was really tired, so I didn't end up you know, telling you everything about it because I wanted to make sure that I was like, you know, remembering everything, getting everything, and I wasn't too tired to tell you all. I am going to end up giving Dear Child 4 stars. I was really, really hoping that it was going to be a 5-star read, and for most of the book, it did feel like it could have been a 5-star read, but I ended up guessing the correct person that was kind of like doing all of the stuff in the book about 60% of the way through. So it was pretty much right after my last update. There was like one clue that was like in the book and I was like, oh, I know who it is. So I did end up guessing correctly. I thought that there was going to be a couple extra twists at the end to kind of like really throw you off, but there wasn't, unfortunately. But it still was a really, really good book. I definitely think that if you liked His and Hers by Alice Feeney and you liked Room by Emma Donahue, I don't know why I keep forgetting her last name. Anyway, if you like either of those two books, I think that you would really like Dear Child because it felt like a really good mixture of both. The ending was not too far-fetched, which was my problem with reading His and Hers. I felt like most of the story was very far-fetched and they kind of waited to the very end to like, you know, tell you this whole letter. And that's not what Dear Child does, which I really appreciate. But I was listening to the audiobook of Dear Child and it reminded me a lot of His and Hers, the way that it was set up, the way that you don't know like who the person is. And even in the same way that I was kind of like trying to figure out who the actual, you know, bad person was. So I thought that this book was done really, really well. I just wish that I would have been duped for longer, I guess. If you love books with like survival, or any type of like captor type of thing, I think that you would really enjoy this book because it is about a guy who is playing house with like a family. So a mom, 2 kids, they are in a cabin in the woods where no one knows where they are, no one can find them, and they have to follow all of his rules. Like they literally can't go to the bathroom except for certain times of the day. Like it was like 7:30 in the morning, 12:30 noon, 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. or something crazy like that. And you know, there weren't any sharp objects. There was no way of getting out. There was like a ventilator system thing that was pumping air into the cabin so that way they would have oxygen. But I thought it was super well done. I loved how like there was so many times where my heart was pumping. There was a lot of anxiety, even for a translated work, because I was worried about it being translated because a lot of times things can be just missed in that. But I thought it was done really well, and the audiobook was really good. They had a couple different like voices and different like ways that they would change their voice and stuff, which I thought was really good as well. And it is not just from a child perspective. I know that my friend Gwen didn't really enjoy Room because of the child perspective, but this one does have a child perspective, just not, I would say probably 25% of the book is from the child perspective, and she's 13 years old, so it's not like you're reading from like a 5-year-old. I really enjoyed it. I think that a lot of you guys that watch my channel would probably really enjoy this book, so I definitely think you should pick it up. I really think it could be a 5-star read for certain people, maybe people that haven't read this type of book before, maybe beginner thrillers. I definitely think I think that this would blow your mind. I have to see, I don't know if this author has written more books, but if so, I definitely would look into reading more of her work. Yeah, it looks like there is other books by her, but I don't know. I think they might be only in German. But Dear Child has a 4.09 on Goodreads, which is really great with almost 17,000 ratings. So other people have really liked this book too. All right, that's it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and seeing just kind of like me traveling to my home state of Pennsylvania and a lot of the festivities that I did over this weekend. And that's about it. So I'll see you guys very soon in another video. Bye everyone.